Howdy and welcome to a new video. Today I got something special, a pin machine or a page machine, whatever you want to call it. The box is huge and includes button parts, more button parts, but the plastic kind, a circle cutter for the pins, transparent plastic films, and the most important part, another box. Here's the pin machine, but the box didn't just include that. It also came with these screw wrenches and the instructions, which are pretty easy. These pins are 58mm and this is the first test. I drew a small kitty on one of the papers that also came in the box. And set everything up to make the first pin. I applied pressure and I failed. I probably didn't use enough force, but let's try again. This time I made a cat face, like a close-up, but it also reminds me of Zipp, which is funny. I made this even before designing it. Anyway, I put everything on place and I did it. This turned out really well and I got super excited. It was the starting point to begin working seriously on this. With all that in mind, I started making the first design for my pins, something simple. Also, since it's for me, I made them of my OCs. In this batch, I included Zipp, Yuuemi, Lovetta, Abelone, Blizzardseeker, Hypolycaena, and me, but in the end I changed mine for another one. With the second sketch, I started adding more detail, defining all the pins better, and I finally decided to replace my last one with one of Blizzardseeker and Enora. I didn't do much else, but you also notice how I started redesigning some of my characters, like Yuuemi, Abelone, and Lovetta. Since I want to adapt them to my channel aesthetic, I made a few small changes, not much. just changed the clothing a bit and that's it. Let's keep defining the shape of each pin, making sure each character fits, and I used a template for that, which included the visible pin area and the cotton zone. if I'm being honest. This was one of the most time-consuming parts of the whole process. You might be wondering, why? Well, I was trying to make sure the lines were not only clean and precise, but also that the brush size was appropriate, so the drawings would be clear on the pins, and I wanted to keep it simple, but not too simple. Now I remember why I didn't do line art as much anymore. In my case, it takes a lot of time because I'm very perfectionist with lines. With all the liner done, we can move on to the part I was most excited about, coloring. Let's start with this cutie. For it, I worked on 2 different paint designs. The background is the one I used for this new overlay, the one you are seeing right now, but I just changed the colors so they better fit the ideas I had in mind. Sorry, I forgot to record myself adding the base colors, but anyway, here's Yuuemi, and it's time to talk a bit about her. I changed her alien antenna headband for headphones. The idea was that they will include the antennas. the alien antennas, but aside from that, I also really liked the antennas attached to the headphones themselves. I felt like it adds a lot to the design, and I feel like it could work well as an icon for my socials. I might have to think about that. Or maybe I can redraw it, but with my more detailed style. I'll think of it. Here's Lovetta. I struggled a bit with the pose, making sure not only her face fit in the pin template but also the hands. Luckily I managed it and the result turned out really nice. Now that I'm talking about it, I haven't finished the reference shot for her, Yuuemi or Abelone yet, but I'll try to make a video finishing those. I really love their designs, so I hope you like them too. I kept almost everything the same. Her hair is longer now and honestly not much else, just small changes. I have to say, this design, is one of my favorites. I managed to include everything I wanted and it's very clear to read. I also have to say it's one of my favorite designs out of the three. There's something very iconic about her. The plushies she carries, which I included in this pin, are very important on her design. I struggled a bit with the line art, as you probably saw, but it was pretty easy to paint. Her color palette is quite simple but distinctive at the same time. Here comes my favorite OC, Yippee! Became my favorite OC kind of unexpectedly. I didn't plan it at first, and I didn't think it would become this important, but here we are, being one of my designs in this first pin batch. I managed to simplify parts of her design. The burn scar area on her face was reduced to a simple red patch, which isn't ideal, but I want to have the chance to render it properly later, so it actually looks like a real burn scar, even if that makes it a bit uncomfortable to look at it. That's part of the character design after all. In this case, all that detail was simplified into a patch. The same goes for the scar and the details on the hands, which are now just red. You don't know how much I love Blizzardseeker. Like, there's something about her design that I love so much. I love drawing her, even when the anatomy is kind different from most of my characters, and I'm taking every opportunity I had to include her. I made pins, I included in the pins. If I had the chance to make stickers, I will make stickers. If I had the chance to make keychains, I will make keychains. She will be in every place. And continuing with Blizzardseeker, this is probably one of my favorites from this pin batch. I'm really glad I replaced my one pin with this one. It's really funny. The design is simple, but including Blizzardseeker and Enora is really good. And well, I also included the flag, and I felt like that was the cherry on top for this pin. It's my favorite one, and it came more from fancies than anything else. Finally, this is the last one. She is Hypolycaena. Her name is really difficult to pronounce, but returning to the paint design, it was somewhat detailed because of the butterfly wings on her face, but I simplified everything into a few colors and small details that don't overcrowd the paint. It's also one of the few that include an almost black background, more like purple. It might stand out a lot, but I'm not entirely sure I liked this design that much. But she's an important character, and that's why I wanted to include her in this pin batch. With everything ready, I went to print everything and I started making the pants. I had a few issues here and there, but luckily several turned out well. here's the result. This is how some of the pins turned out. I had a few problems, and I'll definitely keep them in mind for the next time I make more pin batches. I didn't use enough force and that caused some pins to fail, but at least the set turned out well. And here's a photo of all the pins on my back. As you can see, I love adding bows, pins, keychains, but let's focus on the ones I made today. They look so cute, I love them, and I can't wait to make more. That's it for today's video. It's been a bit different from the kind of content I usually make, but it's part of gradually improving my content, the overlay and all that. I hope you like it, and see you in the next video.